Girls going against Tara-ism, number 116 for Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz in the dark blue, Auld Reekie in the green. Charlotte Patterson getting away from health hazard. The last line of the defense for Santa Cruz takes the first lead jammer in the game.
Pack moving in between turns 1 and 2. A successful star pass on the Santa Cruz side, but a little too late. Patterson taps the hips and calls it off. First score up on the board for Auld Reekie, 4 points to end Jam 1 with not even 30 seconds down in the first half. 29 and 20 left to play in our first half.
And there's number 5, Skirt Vonnegut. She's going to be playing on the MVP, as Dave Puff mentioned. She'll be skating against Caitlin O'Carroll, number 87 of Auld Reekie. Santa Cruz down 1 blocker, kosher assault in the penalty box.
Pack massing up here before they even reach the pivot line. Auld Reekie's got their defense behind. Their jammer coming in through victorious. That's Caitlin O'Carroll with lead jam.
That's 2 lead jams in a row for Auld Reekie. Skirt Vonnegut dodges past Jenny Gao. That's both of our MVPs right there. But she's only completed her initial pass. Caitlin O'Carroll does get all 4 points on her first scoring pass. Skirt Vonnegut broaches the pack, but only passes her own teammates. No points for Santa Cruz.
The 4 points in Jam 2 will bring Auld Reekie to 8 now. 28 minutes and 17 left to play. Only 2 jams down. And penalty box saw some action from the team from Scotland. They've got 2 there to start this one off. A 5-on-3 for Santa Cruz.
Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco going to be jamming for Auld Reekie with only 2 blockers helping her out. Going against Queen Litigious, number 41 of Santa Cruz, who has all 4 blockers on the track. Skinner alive and Jess Little can't quite contain Queen Litigious. She gets lead jammer for the first time for Santa Cruz.
The pack now moving towards turn 1, just past the pivot line, awaiting the return of the Santa Cruz jammer. Auld Reekie doing their best to kill that advantage. Both jammers now free of the pack and in the position for points. Santa Cruz jammer Queen Litigious decides to call it off. First points up on the board for Santa Cruz, 4 now in that last jam. 27 minutes and 10 left to play and only 3 jams down.
Jam number 4 and our 4th fresh set of jammers. MJ taking the line, number 801 for Auld Reekie, against number 3000 Mystery Violence Theater for Santa Cruz. Auld Reekie down 1 blocker, Skinner alive. So we've got 3 on the track. Yin and Bang and Jenny Gao make contact, but Mystery Violence Theater able to get through. She's lead jammer for Santa Cruz. MJ exiting the pack as well. But Mystery Violence Theater is going to hit a very fast-moving pack. 3 wall in the front. Jenny Gao and Yin and Bang hold firm, but they may have given up points. Yeah, they give up 2 points. No point for Crazy Legs, but that ghost point for Skinner alive gets him 3.
At the end of Jam 4, our score holding at 8 for Auld Reekie. Santa Cruz now with 7, just over 26 minutes left to play. Jam 4 away, Jam 5 coming right up and taking the line. Terrorism 116 for Santa Cruz. And on the Auld Reekie side, Charlotte Patterson, number 77, returning to the Jam line.
All right, this is a repeat from Jam number 1, Tara-ism versus Charlotte Patterson. Both teams at full strength, empty penalty box. Charlotte Patterson in the forward position, going against Victoria Mayhem. Last line of defense has to back off at the end of the engagement zone. Lead jammer for Auld Reekie.
The pack moving back in past the pivot line once again. Hasn't even made it to turn 2 just yet. And Santa Cruz jammer struggling a little bit, but finds her opening in turn 2. Has her initial pass.
Charlotte Patterson goes ahead and calls off the jam. He will get full points, 4 points for Auld Reekie. Nothing for Santa Cruz. That puts Auld Reekie at 12 points. Santa Cruz at 7.
Both teams with a blocker down as we start Jam 6. Taking the line this time, Skirt Vonnegut, your MVP for Santa Cruz, facing off against 87 Caitlin O'Carroll for
Both
Auld
teams
Reekie.
down a blocker, 3-on-3 in the pack.
Pack now with a pivot line start. Both jammers with a sprint looking to divide and conquer. Santa Cruz victorious this time. Skirt Vonnegut with lead jam and a power jam for the Santa Cruz side as Caitlin O'Carroll got a back block penalty, is off to the penalty box, and the pack moves into the stretch.
Jenny Gao tries to get contact, but Kurt Vonnegut counter checks, gets through for 5. That's going to tie it up on the scoreboard. But Skirt Vonnegut very quickly through the pack. Pack almost held stationary in the turn.
A wayward skate took her to the outside in turn 4. She's got to reposition back between turns 3 and 4. Has that lead in hand. What will she do with it at this point? Heloise is off to the penalty box as well, putting Santa Cruz down a blocker.
Crazy legs and yin and bang trap Skirt Vonnegut on the inside, force her out of bounds. She's still on the second scoring pass, but Caitlin O'Carroll dodges past Ace Ventura, number 3 for Santa Cruz. And that'll put the pressure on, force the call off. 4 points on the second scoring pass for Santa Cruz, and that's our first lead change. Santa Cruz at 16, Auld Reekie at 12.
All right, 23 minutes and 30 left to play in our first half. 6 jams away. Brand new jammers at the line. Queen Letitia is returning to the jam line. And 626 Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco also returning to the jam line for Auld Reekie. A 5-on-4 this time for Auld Reekie.
Shamrock and Roller was the last line of defense, but couldn't close the door on Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco. She gets lead jammer for Auld Reekie. The penalty box clears out. We've got full strength pack.
Pack now moving into the stretch towards turn 3 at a quick tap of the hips for Auld Reekie. 3 points up on the board. The result of Jam 7, 16-15 now for Santa Cruz, maintaining a really narrow 1-point lead as we head into Jam 8. 22 minutes and 30 left to play in this first half.
Miss Kolicek of Auld Reekie got a penalty in the previous jam, so it's a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Santa Cruz. MJ, number 801, on the line for Auld Reekie against Mystery Violence Theater, number 3000.
I think we saw these two shoulder to shoulder already previously in this first half.
I should just drop
A multiplayer block getting handed out to Auld Reekie's pivot. Number 1, Jenny Gao is off to the penalty box.
That leaves only Crazy Legs and Yin and Bang on the track for Auld Reekie. Mystery Violence Theater 3000 gets through for lead. Heartless Harpy heading to the penalty box. Crazy Legs also. So we've got 1 blocker each on the way to the penalty box, but Auld Reekie still has Jenny Gao in there, so only 2 blockers on the track. Mystery Violence Theater 3000 gets 5 her first time through. That's a jammer lap point, and a cutting the track on MJ means it's a power jam for Santa Cruz.
Pack now moving in between turns 3 and 4. Penalties being dished out left and right. Power jam again, of course, for Santa Cruz. Very small pack to contend with. 1 teammate and 2 blockers opposing as they come into turn 1.
There's a lot of penalties in this jam right now. For a short time there was 2 Auld Reekie blockers, 1 Santa Cruz blocker, and only 1 jammer. Mystery Violence Theater 3000, but she is capitalizing on that. Already up to 15. Fourth scoring pass in progress right now.
And the pack is massing up again in the stretch. Mystery Violence Theater getting forced to the inside, repositioning back in turn 2. Auld Reekie's jammer MJ back out onto the track, re-engaging and through with their initial pass. Mystery Violence Theater eked out 4 additional points at the end of that jam with a tap of the hips to call it off. Jam 8 is done. 20 minutes and 20 left to play. Our score now, Santa Cruz surging forward. Big 19-point jam brings them to 35 points, and Auld Reekie holding at 15.
But remarkably, all those penalties in that jam, and yet every single one of them fully served. We've got an empty penalty box, 5-on-5, as terrorism takes the track again against Charlotte Patterson. Taraism squeezes through the Auld Reekie defense. Mallory Paller is heading to the penalty box, but lead jammer goes to Santa Cruz.
Powers has to take the long route around. She thought she might have been behind the point of no return, but unfortunately got the redirect. And Terrorism picked up a 5-point in that last jam. Jam 9 is away. Santa Cruz now sitting at 40 points.
Caitlin O'Carroll versus Skirt Vonnegut. 4-on-3 pack advantage for Santa Cruz. Skirt Vonnegut getting a little help from Cora Zone. Runs into Jenny Gao, dodges to the inside, and she is through for lead jammer again for Santa Cruz.
Pack now between turns 1 and 2. Lots of posturing going on. The pack holding a little bit steadier than we've seen thus far in this game. Penalty handed out to Auld Reekie. Jenny Gao is off to the box. And Skirt Vonnegut through now with 5 points in that pass. Jammer lap point included in that one.
Caitlin O'Carroll gets out of the pack just ahead of Skirt Vonnegut, but Skirt Vonnegut was on scoring pass number 2. She won't quite get that jammer lap point, but she does get the rest of the 4 points. 9 points total for the jam. Puts Santa Cruz at 49. Auld Reekie still sitting at 15.
As we approach the 18-minute mark on the clock, 10 jams away. And the penalty box has got a blocker apiece in there. Timeout has been called.
I believe that was a team timeout for Auld Reekie.
Perfect opportunity to thank a few friends. Of course, Big O would like to thank all of you for coming out today. And as well, we want to thank Ninkasi Brewing, who local Eugene, Oregon brewery. And I think they have a pub there as well. So I want to thank Ninkasi Brewing. We also want to thank, Fast Girl Skates and RollerCon. 8 tracks, 70 coaches, 160 challenges, 24 bouts, uncountable seminars, social events, and vendors, plus 1 uterus-shaped 24-hour pool. Derby Summer Camp every July. That's a RollerCon in Las Vegas, Nevada. Also want to thank Harmony Event Medicine for providing medical and EMT services this weekend. Of course, the Derby fans will tell you that without the EMTs, we can't have an event. So huge thank to Harmony Event Medicine for all of their services this weekend.
3-on-3 pack. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco jamming for Auld Reekie against Queen Litigious for Santa Cruz. Miss Colley checks Skinner alive, and Pope John Brawl doing a good job containing Queen Litigious, but Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco faring no better against the Santa Cruz defense.
Both teams.
Eloise working the inside.
Lead jam over to Santa Lead jam over to Santa Cruz. It's late in the weekend. It happens. Yeah. Queen Litigious came through. Lead jam for Santa Cruz. Holding on there as the pack moves in between turns 1 and 2. 1 point is going to be the result of Jam 11. After the dust clears, 17 minutes and 15 left to play. Santa Cruz hits the halfway to 100 mark. 5-0 Auld Reekie holding at 15 points. Sorry, man.
That was Chelsea's smile. MJ number 801 for Auld Reekie against Mystery Violence Theater 3000.
We've seen this situation before. Both sides with their 3-wall and a single blocker trying to help out their team. Lead jam over to Auld Reekie this time. Number 801. MJ takes it. Santa Cruz jammer Mystery Violence Theater out there as well. Struggling a little bit to pass turn 2. get that initial pass. Auld Reekie picking up penalties as Peacock and Bangers off to the penalty box.
That leaves Temple of Doom and Crazy Legs. There goes Victoria Mayhem to the penalty box.
5 points for Auld Reekie as MJ passes. Picks up
3-on-2
5.
pack. Mystery Violence Theater just brushes on by. A shoulder check from Crazy Legs. 4 points for Santa Cruz. MJ trying to make the same run, but Kosher Assault contains her behind the pivot line. But MJ will get 3 for Auld Reekie. They win the jam 8-4.
As we approach the 15-minute mark and 12 jams away, we got a bit of a smaller group on the track for the start of Jam 13. It's 3-on-2 advantage for Santa Cruz as we get started. Lots of penalties served from previous jam. Our jammers this time around, number 77, Charlotte Patterson, taking on Terrorism.
Those two seem to be in the same phase every single time they have been facing off against one another. Charlotte Patterson stumbles going into the turn, has to get by Hell Louise again. Does so, gets a little low 5 from Rosie Peacock. Hell Louise trying to reel her back in, but Charlotte Patterson gets out for lead. Tara-ism, the Santa Cruz jammer, going to the penalty box. We've got a power jam for Auld Reekie.
Pack separating a little bit as they come into the stretch. Charlotte Patterson on the rear approach. Back and forth through turn 3, and first points in this jam, 5 in the power jam for Auld Reekie. Pope is off to the penalty box. Each team with a blocker
Louise,
down.
the only one making contact on that, but that was nice defense. Pack work by Auld Reekie. They screened off the other 3 blockers for Santa Cruz. Heartless Harpy, Eloise, and Jem Jones had to just watch.
Santa Cruz helping their jammer out, trying to make a clear pass. Terrorism back out on the track as re-engage the pack a little bit as they come in between turns 1 and 2. Terrorism facing off against the Auld Reekie defense in turn 2. Difficult to make a pass into the stretch. Having to reposition back. Inside, outside, back to the inside again.
Both jammers have gone to the penalty box, so we're on the clock. No lead jammer. And both jammers just getting almost shut down. Charlotte Patterson does break free, only to get a cutting the track technical. So she's going to go back to the penalty box, and Santa Cruz is going to have a power start. Total of 5 for both teams is what we're seeing. No. Okay, there we go. 4 points. That was a second scoring pass for Charlotte Patterson of Auld Reekie. So we've got 9-5. Auld Reekie does win the jam.
Just under 13 minutes left to play in the first half. 13 jams down. Our score, Santa Cruz 59, Auld Reekie 32.
Skirt Vonnegut with the power start. This is a full 30-second power start. Charlotte Patterson got to the penalty box after the last jam ended. But the Auld Reekie defense holding strong. Rosie Peacock, Temple of Doom, Jenny Gao, and Crazy Legs all forcing her to work all the entire backstretch. And finally, Temple of Doom knocking Skirt Vonnegut out of bounds. And that is cutting deep. This is almost a perfect penalty kill so far. And there it is, Charlotte Patterson on the track. So now it is no longer a power jam. But lead jammer did go to Skirt Vonnegut. She is in control of the clock.
Amazing defense by Auld Reekie. They really had Skirt Vonnegut tied up before turn 3. Crazy Legs is off to the penalty box as mentioned. Skirt Vonnegut getting the no pack pass and lead jam over to Santa Cruz.
Now that was still her initial pass. That's because she broke the plane of the front of the pack in order to get lead jammer, but got swallowed back up. But this time, drives straight up the center effortlessly. Santa Cruz blockers in the pack work opening up the center lane. Skirt Vonnegut gets 5. Comes through a second time. Temple of Doom makes contact and sends Skirt Vonnegut off with her own momentum, taking her out of bounds.
She was so close to hanging on there. It seemed like she was on one skate, but just way too much momentum pushing her out of turn 1. Packs disintegrating between turns 1 and 2. Santa Cruz coming back a little bit into turn 1. Help out Skirt Vonnegut, get back into the action. Peacock dragging her all the way back. 5 points the result for Santa Cruz at the end of Jam 14, bringing their score now to 69. Auld Reekie holding at 32. 10 minutes and 40 left to play in the first half. Really nice close game so far, Bulldog. We've seen some huge defense by both of these teams. I mean, usually by this point, scores are closer to the 3-digit mark in some of the games I've seen this weekend.
Very defensive game so far. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco, number 626 for Auld Reekie against number 41, Queen Litigious of Santa Cruz. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco leaving defenders in her wake as they drop back to bridge. Hell Louise and Ace Ventura were the last 2 blockers, but Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco comes away with lead. Now lapping Queen Litigious. Queen Litigious not even able to penetrate the pack. Tremendous defense by Auld Reekie right now at the back of the pack.
They really like that.
Check, taking Queen Litigious to the inside, and I believe there was a penalty. Yeah, we do have an illegal procedure penalty on the Santa Cruz jammer Queen Litigious. It's now a power jam for Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco, who's on her second scoring pass.
Yeah, I mean, Auld Reekie seems to like that rear position. They've got the defense pouring on right at the back of the pack, and they'll hang there, allowing Santa Cruz to move a little too far forward and then having to rejoin. Auld Reekie with the power jam as mentioned. There we go. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco through, and 5 points on this power jam for Auld Reekie. The pack holding in turn 1, awaiting her return. And a signal pushes the pack forward. Some more movement as she comes into the inside of turn 2. And 3 more points will be the result of Jam 15, 13 the total for Auld Reekie, helping to narrow that gap, now sitting at 45. Santa Cruz shutout in Jam 15 at 69 points and 8 minutes 45 left to play in the first half.
So Queen Litigious standing in the penalty box. So she'll be joining, this will be just a few short seconds of a power start for Caitlin O'Carroll, number 87 of Auld Reekie. 4 wall at the front from Santa Cruz. Jenny Gal trying to bust it up. She screens off 2 blockers, but Shamrock and Roller able to keep Caitlin O'Carroll contained. But a penalty to kosher assault allows Caitlin O'Carroll to get through. She already got a fair pass on all of the blockers, so she gets lead jammer.
Queen Litigious got tied up in the pack into the stretch just before turn 3. Repositioned back, and another pass for Caitlin O'Carroll. 5 points up on the board as Santa Cruz regroups, decides what to do in turn 3. Another attempt from Auld Reekie.
Queen Litigious just completing her initial pass, and now we have only 2 blockers for Santa Cruz, 1 for Auld Reekie, but we're quickly joined by Jenny Gao, who gets an illegal procedure and goes straight back to the penalty box. In fact, has to take that extra lap. 4 points for Queen Litigious on her first scoring pass. Now it's 3-1 for Santa Cruz. Temple of Doom, though, makes solid contact, stops Queen Litigious in her tracks, but she's quickly screened off by Corazon. Another 5 points this time for Queen Litigious.
And the pack eking towards the stretch at a moderate pace. Lots of activity going on. Defense from both teams. And a bit of a scramble for Queen Litigious, getting forced to the inside in turn 3. O'Carroll out front. Another 5 points in that pass, and Jenny Gao is off to the penalty box for Auld Reekie.
Now I believe Jenny Gao is actually serving a penalty she got previously, but then was sent back onto the track.
Gotcha.
That is too many blockers in the penalty box. So now she is making up.
A dozen points for each of our teams in Jam 16, a bit of a wash, but 57 now for Auld Reekie, 81 for Santa Cruz, just over 6 minutes left to play. And we've already gone through 16 jams. We're going to probably see close to 20 in this one, this first half. Timeout has been called. An official review, oh, sorry, yeah, an official review taking place. All right, let's thank a few friends while we figure out what's going on. Vendors. Folks, if you have been sleeping and didn't notice so far, we got a ton of vendors here in Vendors Village. Adam, Bont, Brucegate, Newscastle, Megastore. Make sure you check them out before Big O ends later on today.
Okay, that's all sorted out. That was just an official timeout, not an official review. So both teams still have their official review, but Mystery Violence Theater 3000 gets out quickly for lead. Into the packs, scrapes across a couple of blockers, and picks up a low block penalty. I believe that was her thigh made contact with an opposing skater. Since she initiated the contact, she gets a low block penalty, and she loses lead jammer, and it's a power jam for MJ.
Yeah, that was a bit of a cannonball coming into the pack in there between turns 1 and 2. The pack now crossing the jam line once again. Auld Reekie's MJ with 5 points in this power jam as the pack creeps towards turn 1. And around the curve once again, Santa Cruz, that forward position, Auld Reekie trying to bust through, make some room for their jammer.
MJ picked up by Hell Louise. She's backed up by Jem Jones and Heartless Harpy. But she squeezes up the inside lane. 4 points on that scoring pass. But Skirt Vonnegut out of the penalty box and through the pack, finishing the scoring pass she was on, and will match 4 of those points. So far 10-4, but MJ on scoring pass number 3, Skirt Vonnegut on scoring pass number 2. Both jammers battered out of bounds, have to take another run at this scoring pass. But once again, MJ of Auld Reekie 1 full lap ahead of Santa Cruz jammer.
The pack sorting things out in turn 1. Mystery Violence Theater looking for a no-pack situation. Now through, it's 4 apiece for our jammers. The pack holding in weights in turn 1. Mystery Violence Theater trying to cut across the apex in turn 1. Came through successful for another 4.
It wasn't elegant or pretty, but it was effective. She managed to land. She took off inbounds and landed inbounds. All of her body parts that hit the ground all landed inbounds.
And together, which is always a good thing. 2 additional points to Auld Reekie at the end of Jam 17, minimizing the damage by Santa Cruz. 3 minutes and 35 left to play in the first half. Santa Cruz at 93 and Auld Reekie at 73 as we start Jam 18. Before we get there, an official timeout. And to continue the list of vendors here at Big O, if you haven't had a chance to check out the folks that have lots of great things to sell, Durbalife is here, Fast Girl Skates, Fingers Duke, Flat Track Revolution, and Green Monster. Also, Hit This Derby Gear, Living Colored Duct Tape, Left Turn Clothing, Modus Skates, Rydell, S1 Helmet Company, Steel Web, Superfit Hero, and Trixie Be True, all right here at the Big O in beautiful Eugene, Oregon. After party. Folks, tonight there are 2 after parties actually. If you are under the age of 21, there's an all ages after party at Sizzle Pie. I've been told they have some amazing pizza. 910 Willamette Street, right down in the heart of downtown Eugene. Great new style pizza and a full bar for the parents that are going with the folks that are under 21. No cover charge, of course. And then the after party for the big kids at the Wayward Lamb at 9 p.m. 150 West Broadway downtown in Eugene as well. Music by DJ Meow. Complimentary snacks early. Specialty cocktails, no cover charge. So folks here at the Big O, we're going to want to check that out later on tonight. Finish out the weekend.
So now we do have an official review. It was an official timeout. It is now an official review for Auld Reekie.
While this is underway, just a reminder again on track 3, starting at 6 o'clock today, Puget Sound versus Texas. That is a men's game, and it'll be the last game on this track for Big O 2016. So if you're a fan and you want to hang out here on track 3, lots more derby coming up. Also at 6:30 on track 2, arch rival versus Minnesota women's game. And then on track 1 to close things out, we've got a junior expo game, Emerald versus Rose Petals. At 8 o'clock, we've got the Big O MVPs, the men first at 8. And then 8:40 is the Big O MVPs for women versus Team USA. Actually, versus Team USA, men's and women's respectively, at 8 and 8:40 this evening on track 1. Perfect to end out the weekend before heading over to the after parties. Speaking of MVP games, there's an MVP team meeting at 6:30 in the lobby. So if you are one of the selected MVPs from this weekend, make sure to be there. Once again, there's an MVP team meeting at 6:30 in the lobby of the Lane County Event Center where we are right now.
Green Team's official review was on a potential cut track penalty on the black jammer in that last jam. We had a good view of it. There was no cut observed. The no call will stand. Green Team will lose their official review.
So
okay.
no call on a potential cut track against Santa Cruz jammer is upheld.
So that means Auld Reekie will lose their review for the remainder of this half. Clock will start at 3:35 to get us started in Jam 18. Very close game here in the first half. Being interesting to see what happens in the second half when we come back, when these teams have had a chance to powwow, figure out what's going on.
So we've got Tara-ism, number 116 for Santa Cruz, this time up against Caitlin O'Carroll, number 87. Not number 77, Charlotte Patterson, for the first time in this game. A little defensive jamming. Caitlin O'Carroll manages to hip check Tara-ism, the Santa Cruz jammer, out of bounds. She has to recycle, but now Caitlin O'Carroll also knocked out of bounds on the inside.
Ace Ventura brought Caitlin O'Carroll all the way back past the jam line. Lead jam over to Terrorism, the Santa Cruz side in black. Both jammers free of the pack as they move into the stretch, though. Points are what they're looking for. Terrorism ekes through turn 4 as the pack sped up. Eked out 4 points at the end of Jam 18, bringing them within 3 points of 100. Now at 97, Auld Reekie holding at 73.
We got another 5-on-5 jam happening here. Skirt Vonnegut jamming for Santa Cruz. Number 77, Charlotte Patterson jamming for Auld Reekie, who gets a clean line up the inside lane, courtesy of Jess Little. Not quite so clean. A back block penalty assessed. So now that means it's a power jam for Skirt Vonnegut of Santa Cruz. And if I'm not mistaken, lead jammer still up for grabs.
Indeed. Auld Reekie doing their best to keep Skirt Vonnegut from claiming that lead jam. Santa Cruz blockers moving in for the kill. Make way for Skirt Vonnegut. There it is. Not clean pass, though. Means we're not going to have a lead jammer in this one. It'll be a full 2-minute jam. A cut track penalty getting handed out to Auld Reekie, number 14. No, sorry, 19.
Miss Kolicek.
There you go.
Skirt Vonnegut with 5 points the first time through. Charlotte Patterson this time it was clean. Gets through for initial pass. But Skirt Vonnegut knocking over Skinner Alive on her way by and gets 4 more. Second time through. 9 points total for Santa Cruz so far, but Charlotte Patterson matching 4 of those. No lead jammer. We're going to go all the way to the end of the 2 minutes. Nope, Skirt Vonnegut not lead jammer, so unable to call it off.
Pack now holding in turn 4. Auld Reekie up front, trying to keep Skirt Vonnegut from claiming any more points before the end of this one. She got 5 on that pass. The extra point for passing the jammer. Charlotte Patterson struggling a little bit against Santa Cruz defense in turn 4. Again, the pack holding right here in this corner. Not a lot of movement from our pack. And the whistle blown will mean the end of the 2 minutes. 4 to Santa Cruz, 3 to Auld Reekie. Will end jam 19. Santa Cruz now past the 3-digit mark at 119. A 22-point jam. Auld Reekie narrowing that a little bit by putting 11 up on the board, now sitting at 84. And the clock ticked down before they could complete the setup before the 20th jam. Halftime, 10 minutes, folks. Santa Cruz again, 119. Auld Reekie at 84. Come on back in less than 10. If you got to grab a drink or hit the washroom, do whatever you got to do. Come on back. Track 3, lots more action coming your way. Stay tuned.
So when I first went into Fast Girl Skates, it was like being a kid in a candy
I skate
shop.
on the Antic AR1 boot with Crazy Venus plates and Adam B-Rod wheels.
As I've grown as a skater, Fast Girl has also helped my skates to grow with me.
What's your favorite thing that you got at the store?
Probably my gear.
I'm Double Banks, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Vex Factor, and I'm a fast girl.
I'm a Salted Peanut, and I'm a Fast Girl.
I'm Afro Jammer and I'm a fast girl.
You can be a fast girl too.
Skaters, lost your mouth guard? Hit this. Time for an upgrade? Hit this. New to Derby and not sure where to start? Hit this. We are Derby owned and operated with 6 years of experience. Hit This Derby Gear can hook you up with skates, gear, and honest advice based on your skating style and individual needs. Visit us at our store in Salem, Oregon, or online at www.hitthisderbygear.com. Whether you are a new or veteran skater, before you hit the track, hit this.
Hi, I'm Trish the Dish, and this is Ivana S. Spankin, and we're here to tell you about Sin City Skates. Sin City Skates began in our Las Vegas living room in 2005, the first shop ever dedicated to roller derby, and has since grown into this 2,000 square foot mecca in San Diego, where we stock everything for our sport. Need help? With a combined on-track experience of over 24 years and still playing, we test everything we sell, and we're happy to share that experience and knowledge with you. So contact us, sincityskates.com.
Hi folks, Scald Eagle here. Have you had a chance to take a look at the new Bonk Quadstar skate? The boots are ultra lightweight with no break-in period and are great for skaters with skinnier ankles. They also have a 100% Australian full-grain leather outer and a completely heat-moldable hand-laid fiberglass base. Get that premium performance without the premium price tag. Boom. Come over to the Bonk booth right now and check out this rad new skate.
clear path through the pack almost never exists. So we fight and make our own.
Roller Derby Athletics takes the guesswork out of off-skate training, helping you become safe, strong, and unstoppable. Here's what skaters from around the world are saying.
Lots of great advice and things that helped me after I broke my ankle and had
I've lost 90 pounds and discovered my A game.
Love that site and the
workouts.
Rehab has been amazing. It's really worth the investment in
Booty
programs.
Quake rocks. You won't regret the investment.
Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program and transform your game with Roller Derby Athletics.
A lot of very impressive people in roller derby.
This was definitely a proud moment for me, wearing the black, white, and red.
I care about this thing more than I care about any other article of clothing in my wardrobe.
This represents to me like 7 years of blood, sweat, and tears.
Glitter is fun and hardcore. I've learned that it's hardcore.
My uniform is always in pristine condition.
My truck is purple, my shoes are purple, my underwear are purple.
It takes a lot of drive and a lot of passion to keep going in roller derby.
Sometimes when you play roller derby, you're just kind of like, why am I doing this? This is so weird.
I just can't imagine that I'd get more kicks like playing golf than I do hitting a you know? Feels good.
My name is Rachel Rotten.
My name is Midge Wilhelm.
I'm Fifi Nomenon.
I'm Jackie Daniels. My name's Steph Maney.
Hi, I'm Scald Eagle.
And S1.
S1.
S1. S1.
S1.
And S1 is part of my uniform.
The Arius Platinum is packed with new features. Reinforced toe section. Increased toe stop clamping power. Winged truck with split cushion design for easy assembly and installation. The new Arius Platinum, performance redefined.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today, testing helmets to see if they pass the multiple impact certification test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. There's a soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner. There's a hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.
At Roller Derby Athletics, we take the guesswork out of off-skate training so you can focus on being fierce. We help you transform your game without a lot of time or equipment. With 5 training programs plus all-star memberships, there's an option to suit every athlete. And we train skaters worldwide with high-quality video instruction and online support. At Roller Derby Athletics, we empower you to be safe, strong, and unstoppable. Want to see for yourself? Sign up today for our free Basics Builder program.
Couldn't make the trip across the Atlantic, but Auld Reekie wants to give them a shout out and thank you very much for staying up all night long to support your team and to watch them on the broadcast. So thank you very much for watching.
That's great dedication. According to our little stats sheet here, it says that Scotland is 4,700 miles away. I'm not even going to try to do the math in kilometers, but I know it's a long, long way away. Starting off this first jam in the second half, both teams down a blocker, 3-on-3 in the pack, and both jammers on the track. Skirt Vonnegut and Charlotte Patterson going shoulder to shoulder once again. Very slow pack movements to start this one off. Auld Reekie up front, which is a bit of a change from their usual strategy.
3 blockers on the track for Auld Reekie to start the second half. Now Jess Little one-on-one with Skirt Vonnegut. Skirt Vonnegut moves to the inside, pivots around, and claims lead jammer in the first jam of the second half. Charlotte Patterson getting a penalty. Cutting the track is called. So a technical gives a power jam to Santa Cruz. Skirt Vonnegut skating by a fallen Pope John Brawl, 5 points on the first scoring pass.
Pack now holding in the stretch. Auld Reekie up front again. Skirt Vonnegut looking for an opening, finds it on the outside. And another 5 in this power jam for Santa Cruz. The pack getting ready again for the return of Skirt Vonnegut. Waiting for a changeup there. Auld Reekie resetting once again. Skirt Vonnegut on the reapproach. Her teammates hugging the inside line, mostly before she approaches again.
Trying to make the magic work again, but this time Skinner alive and Pope John Brawl deny the outside lane to Skirt Vonnegut. She's got to take another run. Jess Little taking the star pass from Charlotte Patterson. Now the jammer for Auld Reekie. Skirt Vonnegut unable to get anywhere. Pope John Brawl countering every move. And she calls off the jam before Jess Little can come around. 3 more points on the last scoring pass gives Santa Cruz 18 points in the first jam of the second half.
28 minutes left to play in our game. 1 jam down only. What's the differential here? It was 16 plus 37, 53, I think. Quick math. Terrorism taking the jam line for Santa Cruz. Caitlin O'Carroll on Auld Reekie. Auld Reekie taking the rear position. Terrorism getting tied up before the pivot line.
Jenny Gao moving forward to try and help out her jammer, but Santa Cruz holds firm.
Auld Reekie's Caitlin O'Carroll takes lead jam this time around. Pack walling up in turn 1. Terrorism still struggling for that initial pass.
Caitlin O'Carroll with a quick move up the outside lane. 5 points on the scoring pass. Taraism in stealth mode. Jammer cap in hand as she gets lapped a second time by Caitlin O'Carroll, who runs into the same quagmire. Hell Louise taking the star pass for Santa Cruz. She is now the jammer. But Caitlin O'Carroll already got the jammer lap point, so she gets 5 on her second scoring pass. 10 points total so far for Auld Reekie.
Auld Reekie's captain, Crazy Legs, headed off to the penalty box mid-jam. That'll give Santa Cruz a bit of an advantage going into this next one. At the end of Jam 2, 10 additional points to Auld Reekie, bringing them closer to the 3-digit mark. Now at 94, Santa Cruz holding at 137, just over 26 minutes left to play.
Crazy Legs in the penalty box for Auld Reekie. So 4-on-3 pack advantage for Santa Cruz. Queen Litigious, number 41, against number 626, Sasha DeBoyle Pisco. Queen Litigious of Santa Cruz gets out first for lead jammer. Sasha DeBoyle Pisco passes the star up to Jess Little, the pivot for Auld Reekie. But Santa Cruz adjusts immediately. However, Shamrock and Roller picks up a penalty. Jess Little able to fight her way out of the pack.
Auld Reekie with a successful star pass, now number 7. Jess Little approaching the pack, but a little too late on that one. Santa Cruz picks up 3 to close out Jam 3. Now at 1:40 and just over 25 minutes left. Jammers taking the line this time, returning shoulder to shoulder, 3000 Mystery Violence Theater taking on 801 MJ. And a full 5-on-4 for Auld Reekie this time.
Sorry, Shamrock and Roller number 8 of Santa Cruz in the penalty box. Mystery Violence Theater 3000, almost crushed by Crazy Legs. Fortunately got her skate out of the way. Rams into the pack again, but Crazy Legs again thwarts her on the outside, screams to the inside, does not get past Crazy Legs, picks up a misconduct penalty, and that means it's a power jam for Auld Reekie. MJ, the jammer for Auld Reekie, has to back it up.
Pack now moving towards turn 3. Penalties getting dished out. Crazy Legs off to the penalty box once more. Santa Cruz down an additional blocker. MJ on the reapproach into turn 4. Sneaks around the outside. Let's see. Lead jam over to Auld Reekie.
Eloise makes first contact, backed up by Shamrock and Roller, but MJ moves to the inside and bounces off of a hip check, comes back, steps out of bounds, comes back in, and gets a technical cut track penalty. It switches over to a power jam for Santa Cruz. No lead jammer in this jam.
Multiplayer block on number 39. Bangers is off to the penalty box for Auld Reekie. Mystery Violence Theater through. No pass, no penalty. She won't get that additional point, but 4 is okay by Santa Cruz. And Crazy Legs off to the penalty box an additional time. Now a cut track penalty for Mystery Violence Theater. Another jammer exchange. Lots going on in Jam 4.
Well, that was a jammer exchange. Now, Mystery Violence Theater 3000 did leave the penalty box in our first penalty, so that there was only one jammer exchange. But that does mean that Mystery Violence Theater 3000 will have a shortened penalty.
All right, 4 jams down, 22 minutes and 33 left to play in our game. Santa Cruz at 140, Auld Reekie at 94. And an official timeout has been called. There seems to be some discussion between the folks in the stripes. So let's thank a few friends for helping us out with Big O this year. We want to thank Notorious RED, Notorious Gear Deodorant by Notorious RED. Smell clean even if you play dirty. We also want to thank Roller Derby Athletics for sponsoring Big O, as well as Sisu Mouth Guards.
It happens.
Folks, I know it's late in the weekend, but if you haven't already been doing so, you're going to want to make sure to join the social media action that's going on for the Big O. Live tweets are happening at ECRG, and on Twitter you can find at ECRG_the Big O. Also, when you're out on social media, make sure to tag hashtag Big O 2016 so everyone else out there who couldn't make it this weekend can follow all the action. Oh, there was a reminder also that the Victorian Roller Derby boot camp tickets are still available for Monday. And you can buy them on brown paper tickets. Make sure that if you're interested in doing that tomorrow, to check that out. Victorian Roller Derby is going to stick around for an extra day, do a boot camp for folks in the area. So it appears that Auld Reekie's number 11, their captain, attained a 7th foul and has left the track. All right. We got both jammers in the penalty box to start this next jam. One of them will be released first. Let's find out what's happening there. The clock starts.
Well, Mystery Violence Theater was already serving a shortened penalty, so she obviously has less time, so she's released first.
Mystery Violence Theater through first, lead jam. And still a bit of an advantage for Santa Cruz out there. MJ back on the track, re-engaging the pack. Tries to take out Mystery Violence Theater, didn't quite pay off for her this time. Auld Reekie repositioning the blocking at the back of the pack to hold Santa Cruz out of the contest in this one. Pack now finally moving to turn 2. Mystery Violence through for first points in this jam, 4 to Santa Cruz in jam 5. Auld Reekie holding that rear position. Mystery Violence Theater with a big cannonball through. Getting held up there by Scotland's defense. Auld Reekie's jammer MJ off to the penalty box for a cut track penalty, giving Santa Cruz the power jam, but tap of the hips will call it off in 3 points. The results after 5 jams in the second half, 7 more to Santa Cruz, bringing their score to 154. Auld Reekie just shy of 100, holding it 94 points, 20 minutes and 43 left to play. And a power start for Santa Cruz. Skirt Vonnegut taking the jam line. The opponent MJ, of course, serving the penalty from the previous jam.
Lead jammer goes to Santa Cruz. Skirt Vonnegut on a scoring pass, runs right through the Auld Reekie defense. 5 points. Pack's still frozen in turn 2. This time Auld Reekie making more of a show of it. Yin and Bang and Rosie Peacock take Skirt Vonnegut to the ground. The pack now in motion as MJ of Auld Reekie returns to the track. So both jammers in play. But Santa Cruz 2 full laps ahead of Auld Reekie.
A star removal. Jenny Gow now goes to put the star on. It didn't quite happen in time. 5 points to Santa Cruz, including that lap point. 19 minutes and 25 left to play and 6 jams down. Big 10-point jam for Santa Cruz as Terrorism takes the jam line now. Her opponent, 626, Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco, returning to the jam line for Auld Reekie.
Terrorism, number 116, taken over for Santa Cruz. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco taken out by Corazon. She brings her back behind the jammer line. Terrorism runs away with lead.
Pack massing up at the pivot line. A flurry of activity swirling around by both defense. Auld Reekie's jammer, Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco, returning behind the pivot line, and 5 points to Terrorism in black. Her teammates holding the forward wall in the pack in turn 2. A hop over the turn 1 apex and through for 5. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco with the star back on head, and the pack moving quicker now as they reapproach the jam line. No additional points at the end of jam 7. 10 will be the result of that jam for Santa Cruz, 174 their total now, and just shy of 18 minutes left to play.
Empty penalty box, 5-on-5. Caitlin O'Carroll, number 87 of Auld Reekie, against number 41, Queen Litigious of Santa Cruz. Caitlin O'Carroll gets screened across the track by Heloise, but breaks up the outside. Ace Ventura gets into position. Heartless Harpy helped out, but not dropped back to bridge. Ace Ventura can't hold. No, she can't hold Caitlin O'Carroll on her own. Lead jammer goes to Auld Reekie. In fact, Ace Ventura, I believe she picked up a cutting the track penalty, rare for a blocker, but just as effective. Queen Litigious completes the initial pass before Caitlin O'Carroll can get around. But a sparse pack meets Caitlin O'Carroll, and she gets through easily. 4 points on the first pass.
The pack separating a little bit into the stretch, and Queen Litigious getting forced to the outside, slowly making her way back onto the track, eyeing up the Auld Reekie jammer before sweeping around, and 4 points for Santa Cruz. Final defense by Torres, just about holding O'Carroll back. Not quite. 5 points there for Auld Reekie as well. Quick signal to her teammates from Queen Litigious, and 4 is the result. Additional for Santa Cruz at the end of jam 8. 6 minutes and 12 left to play. Santa Cruz at 182. Auld Reekie now past the 3-digit mark at 103. Just a clarification too, I believe that the penalty on Santa Cruz was an elbow penalty. She had the Auld Reekie jammer with her arm up and over, and I just caught a quick signal there, so I think it was an elbow penalty there.
But the upshot is Auld Reekie only 2 blockers on the track. Mystery Valiance Theater 3000 able to get past Miss Kolicek and Jess Little. Lead jammer goes to Santa Cruz. Jess Little taking the star pass. Now the jammer for Auld Reekie. Santa Cruz adjusted immediately. Health Hazard and Shamrock and Roll are holding on as long as they can, but Jess Little breaking free, completing her initial pass for Auld Reekie. The jam gets called. Mystery Valiance Theater takes another 3 for a total of 3 in that jam.
Ever so close to the final quarter of our game. 9 jams down. Santa Cruz at 185. Auld Reekie at 103. And the penalty box seats are getting cold once again. It's a full accompaniment by both of our teams on the track. Returning jammers Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco and Skirt Vonnegut once again. Skirt Vonnegut through first lead jam for Santa Cruz. Both jammers free of the pack as they reapproach in turn 1.
Wide open outside lane for Skirt Vonnegut. Calls off the jam before Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco can get into the pack, so nothing for Auld Reekie. 4 points for Santa Cruz.
Ten jams down and 14 minutes left to play. No surprises here. Caitlin O'Carroll taking the jam line. Terrorism, the opponent. Santa Cruz defense in the back. Auld Reekie up front this time. Terrorism looking for an opening on the outside. Slips to just over the line in turn 1. Having to reposition back now almost at the jam line.
Takes another run at it. This time, I believe that was Chelsea Smiles opening up the inside lane for Santa Cruz jammer Terrorism. So Santa Cruz in control of the clock. Caitlin O'Carroll has a rough time, slides off a hip check from Chelsea Smiles, runs into Ace Ventura, who pulls her back in. Now it's again one-on-one, but look at that. Santa Cruz now enveloping Caitlin O'Carroll right back into the pack as Terrorism comes up with another 5.
Pack now moved back into turn 1 and 2. Santa Cruz defense up front. Caitlin O'Carroll getting wrapped up before the stretch. Auld Reekie defense doing much the same in behind in turn 2.
Shamrock and Roller and Chelsea Smile up front, but behind them, Kosher Assault holding on to Caitlin O'Carroll. She gets by, runs into Shamrock and Roller, and Chelsea Smile immediately moves into forward, and all 4 blockers now for Santa Cruz re-establishing position in front of the helpless Auld Reekie jammer. Caitlin O'Carroll still on her initial pass. I see a forearm penalty called.
Ace Ventura off to the penalty box for Santa Cruz. Jay Gal bringing up the rear in the pack. The points ordered to Santa Cruz, 2 more, bringing their total for this jam to 17. Their score now at 206. Auld Reekie holding it 103. And a team timeout has been called by Auld Reekie with 11:55 left on the clock. Tough second half, Bulldog, for Auld Reekie. I thought they would come back from the half with a little more firepower, but it is late in the weekend. That kind of happens, right?
It does.
Folks in the crowd, how you doing? You got any energy left? Come on. I can't hear you. I can see you a little bit. Okay, there's a little bit of noise from over here. There we go. Big O coming to a close very soon, but we got lots still to go. Puget Sound in Texas here on track 3 at 6:30. Arch Rival also at 6:30 against Minnesota on track 2. And also, 6 o'clock for Puget versus Texas. 6:30 Arch Rival Minnesota. 6:30 the Junior Expo on track 1. And then the men MVP game and the women MVP game to close it all out. End of Big O 2016. It's been a heck of a ride so far. And still lots of entertainment for you folks here at the Lane County Event Center.
It's a long weekend, but we're on the home stretch. It's gut check time. Yep. Here we go. Charlotte Patterson jamming for Auld Reekie against Queen Litigious of Santa Cruz. And Charlotte Patterson rockets up the outside and takes the lead jammer with authority. Hell Louise taking the star pass, becomes the jammer for Santa Cruz. But that authority goes away as a technical cut track on Charlotte Patterson sends her to the penalty box. We've got a power jam for Santa Cruz.
And the pack moves into turn 3. Penalties getting dished out for both teams. Hell Louise taking a knee on the outside of turn 4, having to reset back behind Auld Reekie in turn 3 there, into the stretch even.
That was Jess Little drawing Hell Louise all the way back out of the turn, but a little juke to the outside, and she gives Pope John Brolin Miss Kolicek the slip. 5 more points for Santa Cruz.
Auld Reekie defense on the jam line forcing Heloise to the inside. Another play block on Auld Reekie's Collie, sending her to the penalty box. And Auld Reekie jammer back out on the track, but a cut track. Another one will send Patterson back to the penalty box. Both jammers now in the penalty box for cut tracks respectively. And the pack into the stretch one more time. Heloise on the reapproach. Auld Reekie with only 2 blockers awaiting Heloise. 5 points to Santa Cruz. Auld Reekie up front. Heloise looking for additional points. Stretch that jam all the way out. 2 additional points to Santa Cruz, actually to both teams at the end of jam 12. That'll bring the totals after the dust clears. 12 points to Santa Cruz. Now bringing them to 218. 2 points to Auld Reekie. Now at 105 and 9 minutes 40 seconds on the clock as a timeout has been called. An official timeout. Some conversations going on here on the track. We'll figure out what's going on and get that back to you there ASAP.
Well, I could see from here something unusual was going on. It looked like possibly Charlotte Patterson had fouled out. She was not sitting. However, it looks like there may have just been a small clerical error. Or I may have misinterpreted what I was saying. But however, Charlotte Patterson on 6 penalties, not 7. However, I don't believe she actually served any extra time. She served with only 30 seconds, or at worst 1 or 2 seconds more than that. There wasn't that much time left in the jam, so I don't think there's any lasting effect if there was any clerical error made.
And the discussions continue. Oh, there we go. Okay, back to the action. And the penalty box is empty once again. A full accompaniment on both sides. Mystery Violence Theater against 801 on Auld Reekie's side, MJ. Seen these two going up against each other before. MJ getting forced to the inside of turn 1. Mystery Violence Theater to the outside. MJ taking advantage and lead jam to Auld Reekie.
Mystery Violence Theater 3000 gets a technical track cut, so it's a power jam for MJ of Auld Reekie.
Pack now moving into the stretch. Peacock off to the penalty box. And Santa Cruz on the defensive up front. Auld Reekie trying to make a bit of a hole there for their jammer. MJ tiptoeing to the outside in turn 4. Technical cut track will force her off to the penalty box. Oh no, sorry.
A flurry of penalties.
Oh yeah. There was a cut track there. She's off to the penalty box. Some confusion.
The pack was pretty sparse there. But now back up to 3-on-2 pack advantage for Santa Cruz as Mystery Violence Theater returns to the track. She was released before MJ got to the penalty box, so that is a full 30-second power jam we're seeing right now.
A rush pack now into the stretch. They were holding in turn 2. Mystery Violence Theater, like a cannonball, bursts through past Peacock and Jay Gao to pick up another 5 for Santa Cruz.
Now that's now MJ was on a scoring pass, so up to potentially 5 points already for Auld Reekie. But now Mystery Violence Theater on a second scoring pass. Oh dear, an illegal procedure for MJ. That sends her right back to the penalty box. So the power jam continues for Santa Cruz.
Pack now back into turn 2. The full 2 minutes elapsed. 7 minutes and 33 left to play in our game. 13 jams down. 10 points to Santa Cruz in the last one. 4 to Auld Reekie. Folks, just a reminder, for the after parties this evening, you're going to need to hang on to your wristband. So don't get excited and cut the thing off before you leave the Lane County Event Center. Make sure to keep it. Otherwise, you will not be admitted into the after party. It's an exclusive Big O event.
MJ still in the penalty box. She did pick up 4 points before that, before the end of that last jam, before getting sent to the penalty box the first time. But Skirt Vonnegut right now in the clutches of a tight wall on the front. Mallory Powers and Skinner alive, and they're bracing against Pope John Brawl. And so far, holding their own, but Skirt Vonnegut now charges forward, one-on-one with Pope John Brawl. Pope John Brawl runs out of the room, and it's lead jammer for Santa Cruz.
Skirt Vonnegut on the reapproach. The pack in between turns 1 and 2. Sprint forward, and a star pass over to Jess Little. Little too late, as it were. 2 points to Santa Cruz to close that one out.
But they do hold Santa Cruz to only 2 points on that power jam.
6 minutes and 8 seconds left to play. Only, 14 jams down. No change in score for Auld Reekie. 2 additional to Santa Cruz. And an official timeout has been called. Head ref having a discussion with our coaches and the captain from Santa Cruz. If you haven't yet, there's some raffle prizes still to be drawn this evening. Grand prize winners to be picked at 7:45 tonight, just before the Team USA men's bout. Raffle tickets are $1 each, but if you buy 20, you get 10 free. So 30 for the price of 20. There's a ton of prizes over there. Let's see, we got Big O shirt, 2 tickets to 2017 Big O. Bruised skate nooses are over there. Castle Megastore's got a prize. Dollhouse, Fast Girl Skates. The list is pretty long. Just over at this table in between tracks 2 and 3. Make sure you check that out. And the best part is those raffle tickets, you buy them, you put them into the raffle draw that you would like to win. So you kind of get to pick your prize to a certain degree in that case. Also, I heard earlier that the Big O merchandise was on sale as well. So if you're looking for 2016 Big O merchandise, t-shirts I believe went down to $15. So make sure you check that out. In between tracks 2 and 3 here. Back to the action once again. Terrorism and Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco taking the Jam Stars. Full accompaniment on both sides. Terrorism getting caught up by Peacock and pushed all the way back to the jam line as Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco has her own issues up front in between turns 1 and 2. Terrorism trying to skip across the turn.
Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco taken down by a shoulder from Shamrock and Roller. He's going to have to go all the way back around the turn, drawn back by Ace Ventura. Terrorism, the jammer for Santa Cruz, gets out for lead.
Her teammate, number 322, Kosher Assault, is off to the penalty box.
Rosie Peacock with a big hip check takes down Terrorism. And she's going to go ahead and call off the jam. She will get 4 points. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco was coming up the back stretch, but no points for Auld Reekie.
As we enter the final 5 minutes of play, 15 jams away, and Santa Cruz is at 234, Auld Reekie at 109. And it'll be a 4-on-4 this time around. Both teams with a blocker in the penalty box. Queen Litigious and Caitlin O'Carroll.
Caitlin O'Carroll shaking off a hip check from Jem Jones to get through. She is lead jammer for Auld Reekie. Hel Louise receiving the star pass for Santa Cruz. And finds the inside lane just ahead of Caitlin O'Carroll. So just barely avoiding giving up a jammer lap point. 4 points though for Auld Reekie. And Caitlin O'Carroll calls off the jam. We've got less than 4 minutes left in the game. Score 234 for Santa Cruz, 113 for Auld Reekie.
Jam 17 coming right up. We've got Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco taking on Skirt Vonnegut once again, and a full 5-on-5. The stare down taking place here. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco with a sprint start, it looks like, hitting the Santa Cruz defense up front. Both jammers looking to divide and conquer as they come to turn one. Lean in by both jammers. Skirt Vonnegut tied up just past the pivot line. A cut track penalty will give Santa Cruz the potential power jam for Skirt Vonnegut. And there's the lead and power jam. Santa Cruz holding that rear position, making a big opening for their jammer.
First scoring pass, runs into Jenny Gow on the outside, gives her the slip, dodges Rosie Peacock, and cuts to the inside of Jenny Gow. 5 points for Santa Cruz.
Pack in turn 3 and 4. Skirt Vonnegut headed for the outside, then crosses over to the inside and through. Another 5 points, including that jammer lap point. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco back out on the track and re-engaging. Santa Cruz defense at the back of the jam line. Lots of activity going on in turn one. Both jammers getting tied up here. 5 more points for Santa Cruz. As the pack moves into the stretch one more time, Santa Cruz blocking, creating a pinball situation here for Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco. Now has initial pass. Skirt Vonnegut really holding the control panel for Santa Cruz at this one. Big 19-point jam to close out number 17. 1 minute and 30 left to play. Auld Reekie's score holding at 113. Our jammers in Jam 18, Terrorism and Caitlin O'Carroll. Terrorism with a cross to the inside and then to the out, tiptoes around turn one, and lead jam for Santa Cruz. Caitlin O'Carroll at the back of the pack. Terrorism getting tied up there. Successful star pass for Auld Reekie. Point scorer now number 7, Jess Little in the point scoring position. We've seen this a couple times where she's gotten the star but has just not quite made it there to pull up points for Auld Reekie. $18 jams down, an additional 4 points for Santa Cruz. And the clock is ticking down in this one. A team timeout has been called by Santa Cruz. Folks in the crowd on the other side, are you ready for another jam or what? Yeah? I think the crowd on the other track cheered louder than you guys did.
All right, well, you're going to get one anyway.
Folks, just a reminder too, actually this is my last game to call for Big O. I've had a heck of a time. It's been great. Looking forward hopefully to come back again all the way from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Come on up and say hi when you get a chance. Make sure that when you're out there today, we still got a couple hours left. If you see a volunteer, give them a sincere thank you for volunteering to help out with the Big O. Honestly, couldn't happen without them. If you're bold enough and you want to ask, can I give you a hug? By all means, please. Hugs are usually greatly appreciated. Yeah, announcers need hugs too. But please, a huge thank you to all the volunteers, the officials, the NSOs, the other announcers for putting on Big O this year. It's been a heck of a time. So much fun.
Only 16 seconds on the clock as the whistle blows. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco jamming for Auld Reekie, but it's Skirt Vonnegut of Santa Cruz getting through first for lead. That puts Santa Cruz in charge of the clock. And the period clock has expired. This is the final jam. Sasha DeBoyle-Pisco, losing momentum, but no, Heartless Harpy sent off the track, but it's irrelevant. 2 points for Santa Cruz. Skirt Vonnegut calling off the jam, the final jam, and the unofficial final score now 259 to 113 in favor of Santa Cruz. We're going to go ahead and verify that and get a final score to you shortly.
In the meantime, folks, around track 3, give it up huge for both of these teams. Come on out to the track, outstretch a hand, say thanks for working your hardest today, and show some Derby love. Both of these teams worked hard.